It's now 6:45, and we'll call this Town of Plainfield Pension Board meeting to order. And at this time, we are holding a special meeting for the Town of Plainfield Pension Board. Call to order. Roll call.
Tom Sinkowitz.
Art Gagnon.
Kevin Cunningham.
Becky Hewitt.
And Christy is absent tonight, and Kathy is not here. All right. Have you had an opportunity to read through the minutes from March 8th? If so, I would entertain a motion to approve at this time.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And at this time, there's public comment. Moving right along, new business. Item 1, consider an act on retirement request for the town employee. You see in your packet there is a retirement request for Sonia Chapman. Sonia's been here 29 plus years. It's a long time. And she has decided that this would be her last few weeks in her position. And so if you read through, you'll see that there is a request for a monthly pension payout monthly for $1,045.93 with a 62 2/3 contingent annuitant. Commencing on, this would actually be commencing on July 1st of this year.
I make a motion to approve pension for $1,045.93 per month, starting on 1 July 21 for Sonia Chapman.
I second that.
Any other discussion? Other than, once again, we have a long-time employee who's leaving us, and she's done a fabulous job for the town of Plainfield, and we want to thank her for that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. And with that, there is no other business, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. We are now adjourned. Good evening. The time is now 7 p.m. This is our regular Board of Selectmen meeting for the town of Plainfield. I'd like to call it to order and ask if you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. We'll go through roll call.
Art Gagnon.
Kevin Cunningham.
Becky Hewitt.
And Kathy is missing. All right. Item C, approved minute meetings for 5/10/2021.
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Public comment. Hearing none, go into item E, old business, which we have none at this moment. Item F, new business, discuss and act on proposals for refurbishing the Plainfield Memorial Tank. What you will see in your packet was a compilation of items for trying to get data to refurbish the tank. Where I gathered this data from pretty much told me that we were going to have a hard time going out to a bid of any sort because of how you wanted to be able to fashion it. I got the data from the DEP, from Mystic Air, and there was a third company that, entity that told us, look, you're going to have a problem finding it because most of the time what you're doing is you are looking to do lead abatement inside of a house, not outside. There's very few companies that do that. So I actually talked to the mayor of New Milford as well, because they had to do the same site type of search, and it was very difficult for them to even find somebody. So what we did was, you'll see in front of you is a list of the groups of people that we went to, and they all came out to give proposals, and that's what these are. These are all proposals, and inclusive of that is, one was a chemical company out of Hartford, and that's one that came out and tested our tank, took 2 test samples of which chemical might work best, wrapped them overnight, and then came back with a quote. The other ones are sandblasting companies. And at the end of the day, we were trying to coordinate this so we'd come forward and be able to produce something which will be something that lasts for a long, long time. The best way to do it, obviously, is we started this in September. The best way to do it is that you test it, make sure what it is or isn't, and then come back with how do you abate it. So I would ask that you would consider bypassing the procurement policy, which means you don't have to go to bid, but with these proposals, you'll be able to go forward with what we've been able to accumulate from the line item transfers to help to offset the cost. So I can go through each one individually. I could go through, just an overview of it with you, if you'd like. All right. As I mentioned before, there was one company that was out of Hartford, Ramco Environmental. They did their total number, and that excluded certain things like tax overtime, anything for fencing that they would be putting up. Their quotes came into a little over $29,000. Again, there's some things that they didn't put in there. Then you look at Yankee Fiber Control. Yankee Fiber Control was for $48,600. Then there were the two that I was going to work with, and that was PTG and Allstate. PTG was doing all of the heavy work of actually the sandblasting function of it. They were working in cooperation with Allstate, who had the equipment. So they talked about the dust collector. And for anybody that was here that saw the whole process, that was an amazing process of how you had to contain the tank area, how you had to have a certain type of system to make it so that you don't have any contaminant going out into the open area. We also, just as a follow-up to this, so you know, we did have input from Mystic Air for the companies we were working with. We also used Mystic Air during the times that they were actually doing the sandblasting. So you might have seen a vehicle that was out there. They put a couple of systems on throughout that area. We had notified the neighbors and everything so that they knew what was going on. Those are the, oh, by the way, the numbers for our PTG was $11,650. The numbers for Allstate was $28,000. So that was how we went to be able to produce something which we hope will be finished by Thursday afternoon. And that way we can put the granite underneath and then bring the tank down. And then we'll do the final unveiling of the tank itself. So I guess I would entertain motion at this point to bypass procurement policy to utilize the monies that are allocated to both Allstate Media Blasting and PTG, the proper name here, PTG Media Blasting as well.
Okay, make that motion.
Pass. Any other questions? I will second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That is that. For the public to know the next steps of what's going to be going on, we would definitely invite you to what's going to be happening at this, at the Moosa Memorial Park at 10 o'clock this Saturday, and then at 11:30 at the Plainfield Memorial Park at 11:30, followed at 12:30, which is the refreshments, which we'll be having some hot dog, hamburger, and such for that day. The people that actually put time into this, the list goes on and on and on, because there's so many people that put, we got a donation today. The donation today came in for $300, and someone doesn't live in Plainfield. Yeah, they used to live in Plainfield, but they gave a donation, so everything helps to offset, something to defray some of the costs, so it's very much appreciated. And we want to make sure that we are supportive of our military, supportive of our community, and we ask that those people who are interested to come out to the event for Saturday. Anything else?
Is that from the mapping machine?
Yeah. Just so you know that that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
I checked the email, I'm sure it's the same too.
So we're all set with that? Anything else you can think of?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion, I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 707. And we'll go right into our okay, the time is now 7:07, and it is May 24th. The Water Pollution Control Authority meeting is called to order. Roll call,
Art Gagnon.
Kevin Cunningham,
Becky Hewitt?
and Kathy is not here. If you've read item C, approved minutes from April 26, 2021.
Yeah. Make a motion to approve meeting minutes.
I will second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item D, public comment. Okay, well, into the new business. Item number 1 is to consider and act on Metropolitan District Disposal Rate Agreement. Fortunately, tonight, we have Stephanie here to help us walk through step by step. Oh boy, huh?
So we've been going to NBC for at least, I would say, 20 plus years now. They've kept the rate the same. I looked over the records, looks like at least since 2004, it's been $295, and we've never had a contract with them. They sent me an email a couple weeks ago asking us to move forward with the contract, or they would possibly refuse our sludge in the future. I said, no issue, but, I'm getting a proposal together. So this is the 2-page proposal that they gave us, and it's pretty standard, nothing too different than I would expect. They did go up from $295 to $300 per dry ton, and that looks like they should only increase our budget line item by $1,250 on average from 2020. So I don't see that being too much of an issue. Like I said, they haven't raised it since at least 2004, so $5 is a reasonable increase.
Very reasonable. And that's a 2-year contract. So it's July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2023.
Yes.
So we'd probably look to entertain a motion for approval of the contract. Unless you have any questions.
Question mark.
Yep.
They keep saying in here that if we still accept sludge, are they looking to stop or something?
I don't think so. They just want us to sign the contract. They kind of stated that if we don't sign this, they might halt taking our sludge for disposal and incineration if we don't start trying to work on something with them. I think most other towns do have contracts with them. I don't know if actually have gone away without a contract with them for this long. I wasn't complaining.
Okay, you never had a contract.
No, I asked them if the old contract had expired and if they could send it to us, and they said we never actually had a contract with them in the past.
So is my math right? Is this around 75,000 a year? Because they'll only accept 250 dry ton per year?
Yeah, so about 250, yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
That's per dry ton, yeah,
Okay.
and they incinerate it for us. And then Selectmen Waste hauls it there for us, and we have a contract with them that is about 2 years that Kevin signed last year, I believe.
Thank you.
Yep.
So not to mix things up, I think this is a fair contract, a minor increase, which we will be able to adjust, and this is the second part of that,
Yeah,
absorb into our actual annual budget
yes,
without any problems.
shouldn't be an issue.
Who gets to do the signing?
But they think that you do.
Oh, boy.
Well, you do,
I think Rose Downs, I'll take it.
All right.
So at this time, we entertain a motion to approve signing the contract. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you for that. Item number 2. Item number 2 on the agenda is a discussion on, let's see if I get the bid. Award Union Street Pump Station Generator bid. So if you take a look, there is on item 2 bids that came in on the WPCA new generator. Not that there's a lot of difference for the prices, but there was a slight difference if you take a look. One was looking for, the generator that was looking for was 7/161/92 from AC/DC Industrial, and the other one was Millennium Electric, and that was 33/5/25. Still both very reasonable, but we have an option to pick whichever you choose. Is there any questions that you might have for Stephanie?
No, not on this.
So that time, I guess I would entertain a motion to approve AC/DC Industrial Electric for $27,161.92.
So moved.
Motion's been made in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Alrighty, item number 3, just take a few more minutes than that, is we're going to consider an act on the 2021-22 WPCA budget. Before we get into the full discussion on that, I want to thank Stephanie and Kelly and Becky, because they actually sat down and worked through this budget and tried to figure out the pros and cons of everything. Whenever you're making one change, what does it affect? So, it didn't take that long, but there were some things we had to discuss and how to make some adjustments. So what you see in front of you is the sewer use charges, of which I did want to mention one thing. And I will share this with the chairperson for the Board of Finance later on, but it took multiple tries to ask and request information from the Board of Education on their numbers. And every time we would ask, we'd get a different number. And I'm having a hard time struggling through all of this, as I was at, not everybody, every one of you are, but a majority of our meetings, and there was discussion on how the number of students looks like it was going to increase. But what we have in front of us is a decrease. I don't understand it. And the same thing, by the way, for employees. It looks like there's 34 more employees and 144 less students. So what we need to do is try to be fair about putting numbers together so we can have a good budget. I know that the Head Start had moved out from under their purview under one building. We moved them over to the rec center, and the director there, I had to explain it to her, and she said, okay, here's my numbers. And they were very fair. The numbers are, right to the penny of who was coming in and out. But then I looked back at this and I was perplexed as why. So I think maybe we need to talk about this in the future, because to say that we need, to maintain what we have is fine, but just give us the right numbers so we can maintain what we have to give you a right value into your budget. So with that said, you'll see what was done for the sewer use charges, and there was modifications that were, some slight modifications to the sewer use budget, and I think it was a very fair budget putting it all together. If this was approved, we're not looking at any rate change at this point. So that's a good thing. Do you have any questions? Okay.
Do I have questions?
Okay.
Yes, I do. First is sewer use charges. I noticed it went down. Didn't we raise the charges last year?
Last year.
So the rate's $4.12, and it's maintaining at $4.12 for sewer use, same as last year. So we haven't increased it since we did last year.
The 1920 budget was the last time we raised it from 1920 to what we're in current year. So it was raised to help us last year, but
Yeah,
right
it's
now
past year.
we're parallel to that.
He's asking why
So
it went down.
you're noticing this?
It went down because the enrollment of students went down. So last year, we were able to charge, say, 50 students. Now, say there's only 0 students. So we had to decrease our sewer use with the school department. That's the reason why it went down.
Okay. The bottom line, other revenue, went up 15,000.
Other revenues.
From miscellaneous industrial charges, I believe.
Okay. I did know, I noticed the industrial.
So every
I get to that
we
later, I
used to
think.
take these permits, and now we're taking them, and we're charging between $600 and $1,500 per permit. And I think so far we've collected about 5 permits so far. So we should expect that revenue about every 5 years. So that was a little bit of an increase.
And how many did you reach out to that had that? Maybe
We've probably reached out to about 12. Like we've gotten about 5 responses back so far.
I I liken that to a building inspection where they haven't had something where they've made modifications inside their building, and they're not really forthcoming, they don't want to tell you. But, Stephanie did reach out, she did have some people immediately reply back, so that's why you see that increase in the revenue.
Next one would be salary. I imagine that's contractual raises, right? Then down to sick time payout.
We have one employee that's planning on retiring this year.
Okay.
They've been there 40 years.
Oh, they have sick time.
Yeah, we have six,
Okay, yeah, I
six
gotcha.
days on the books.
And down to, all the way down to the bottom to electricity. And it's just wondering if that's because of the solar panels there?
That's what we do.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
That's
Those
it.
are again the ones on the.
I'll keep asking that if I see electricity, because
We also
It's
switched
just
to a
solar
lot,
panels.
the North plant, a lot of switched to LED bulbs too, or something, so that could also play a small role.
that's it. Thank you. I must say, good job, though, because you brought it lower than last year, so that's great.
Anything of a highlight that you wanted to bring out to share with the public on that?
Not too much, like I said, overtime increased a little bit, as we're planning on taking over the snow plowing for some of the town sites. So overtime went up due to that. Sick time on repairs and maintenance line item, I increased a little bit to try to replace some aging equipment. I increased lab expenses a little bit to also replace some aging equipment. Contracted services went up a little bit as well, just because a couple more employees are choosing to get uniforms. Then I decreased our materials. I decreased our E1 line item for the pumps that go around Moosa Pond. Our Furnish/GEP credits went down because we're doing a little bit better with our nitrogen numbers at the plant. And vehicle repairs went down a little bit now. We got a couple more newer vehicles. I think that's the bulk of the changes in our year.
Sounds good. Again, very good job. So the motion should be to, if we are to approve this,
Set the user rate. So it's 412.
would be 412 as we have been this year. I can't hear.
Total amount in the budget for the two.
I got you.
Yeah.
So if the motion was to approve the current proposed budget for 2021 for the sewer use rate of 412, and the total that we're looking to expend throughout the year would be $2,454,000, not $519. I'd be willing to entertain that motion.
So moved.
I would second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. We don't have an item 4.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, motion to adjourn, I'll second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that is at 7:21. Thank you very much.